Hi guys, and welcome to this week's episode of my Kickstarter Diaries. What an amazing week it's been, and before we get started I just wanted to say a shout out to Kriti, one of our subscribers who I know it's her birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday, hope you have a great weekend. It's a wonderful weekend here in Melbourne, the sun is shining, it's been a long winter for us here in lockdown, so it's really nice for us to be coming into summer finally, and of course Maggie and I are off to my family Christmas at the end of next week, the long drive from Melbourne to the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia. So it's quite a mission, but we're very much looking forward to it, and seeing our family after such a long time. So today I want to talk about, if you're new to this video series, this is my casual happy place where I get to talk to all of you other Kickstarter addicts about what I'm backing, what's upcoming, and what's going on in Kickstarter land. And it really is just an informal chat, and I really enjoy all of the comments that go on in the comment section, all of the discussion, people updating me about things throughout the week. I really love all of that. So thank you so much, and thank you for your continued support of our channel 3 months in, and yeah, we couldn't be more delighted at all of the friends that we've been making along the way. So without further ado, let's talk about this week. Now, the first game that I'm really excited to be backing this week is called Ugly Griffin Inn, and that for me is really hard to say. I don't know why. I've already messed it up like 16 times, but Maggie's going to edit that out for me, which is wonderful. But Ugly Griffin Inn is a game by Button Shy Games. And if you haven't heard of Button Shy Games, they are a fantastic company that make these small wallet games, and they have all different designers contribute these games. But the one thing that's consistent about them is I think they have to be within maybe 18 cards, and so for that reason they're all really small, in these small little wallets that you can collect, but you can take them wherever you go. And I'm super excited to get. Actually, we backed their last Kickstarter with the expansion to Scrawlopolis, one of their most well-reviewed games. Another one is Circle the Wagons, that's really popular. And also Elizabeth Hargrave's Tussie Mussy is one that we ordered as well in that set. So excited to get those. But this one really caught my eye because the Ugly Griffin Inn is part of their new solo series, like specifically designed to be both simple, easy to learn the rules, and then a compelling solo experience. And we all know that Maggie is getting more and more into solo games. I'm trying not to take that personally because we have been locked down together for a while, and I suspect that the longer we've been locked down, the more she's been enjoying playing games by herself. But anyway, this one looks really cute because you've got all these odd characters that come into your inn, and come into your, I think they come into your pub, your bar, that's right, and then they sleep in the inn. But in order to keep everybody happy, you've got to be aware of all of their different quirks. So this character, for example, starts fights, makes loud noises, and emits strong odors, but then they also have things that irk them. So if there's other characters that are sleeping near them and these things are going on, you will lose their patronage. And so the objective of the game is to get as many people staying in your inn as possible, obviously dealing with all of those conflicts as they come up. That's pretty cool. I think Maggie will really get into the theme. I think she'll also really enjoy the artwork. It is super cute and super quirky. And so, this is an example. If there is a noise directly above or below this room, this person is going to do something else. And so you've got to manage that as you're moving people from the bar ultimately to get them into the inn. So that's really cool. But the other thing about this campaign is that first of all, it comes with a free expansion. So that's great if you want to back it now. The other thing is that they're offering up a recent game, I don't know how I missed this one, called Food Chain Island, which is another one of their games, another one in the solo series by the same designer. And what I love about this one is I think Maggie will really dig this as well. It's obviously a card game, a solo card game, and the art is so cute because it relates to the food chain and the fact that a rat can eat 4, 3, or 2, so any character that's lower than it. So rats can eat lizard and mice, for example, but then a lizard can eat the mice, and the illustrations are like showing them like wolfing down the animals that are lower than them. So it really fits with the food chain theme, and with the game, you can see that all of these animals can move around and have different actions, but ultimately you're trying to end up, I think, with just one card. So you're trying to get all the animals to consume each other until there's just one card remaining. And that, yeah, Maggie's going to love the artwork, love the theme. And so I have backed the pair of these to be delivered, which I'm super excited about. Now, the second thing that I'm backing this week is, wait for it, Vindication. And I said it like that because my friends in the comments, Jazz and Omar, well, first of all, were just like horrified that we didn't already own Vindication. And second of all, have been hounding me this week about looking into the game in a very fun way. Like, have you looked into it yet? Have you looked into it yet? Because I promised I would go fully down the rabbit hole, and I did. I watched all of the original reviews of the base game, got an understanding of how it worked, and you guys were right. It seems like something that is so going to work for Maggie and I, both from a mechanics perspective and a theme perspective. Some people are a bit like, sus on the theme. I really enjoyed like Rado's review talking about like whether Vindication is the right name or whether it should be Redemption. And also, you know, people have been quite critical about the inclusion of minis and whether that they needed to have minis. But what I got out of all of those reviews is that the base game or the core mechanics in game are interesting and excellent. And so for me, of course, that is enough, more than all of the other kind of things that are happening with the theme. But I also love the production value. It looks really great. I love that it comes with the little containers for each player. I think that that's a really neat way to package it up. I think the theme, if you're not aware of Vindication, I should say, basically you start as this person who's had this really, has lived not a great life in terms of honor. And the idea is that I think you are in a shipwreck or something, and you wash up on an island, and then it becomes your life goal to become this vindicated person or redeemed person by collecting wisdom and courage and honor, and ultimately turning your character over from being a horrible person to a wonderful person that everybody loves. So that whole premise, to me, even though I'm not really into theme, and you guys were totally right that said it in the comments that this would work for Maggie and I. And I think you're right. I probably thought, based on the box art originally, that it was going to be too like fantasy-esque for us. Like, it looked a little bit too far into fantasy. But now that I've read about it, I don't think that's the case at all. I think we could actually get into this quite a lot. Now, my problem here is what level to back at. I want to know, is anyone else backing this, and what are you backing at? Because here's where it starts to get a little bit confusing for me, because I know I want the base game, and the consensus seems to be that you don't really need even the designer was like, you don't really need the leaders expansion. Like, it's a nice to have, but not essential. And so for that reason, I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll leave that expansion off the list. These are the personal trays that I was talking about for each player. Love that. Love the little metal medallions as well. Also, side note, the bonus kind of minis that don't do anything except for kind of stand around looking pretty. I love painting, so that's still a bonus for me. Even if they're not going to do anything, they look like actually kind of fun structures to paint. So I am excited to get those, even if it's not important for the gameplay. Where are we going? Okay, I need to find the levels. Okay, so for $29, you can get the new expansion, which I haven't even spoken about. Sorry, I've just been talking about my own journey into Vindication. The new expansion is Chronicles, and Chronicles it seems like it adds like a stronger narrative to the game. So people have maybe missed that a little, that the theme didn't come to life enough for them. And so what this expansion does is it gives you kind of a more of a path for the characters. That's what I understand. And then also more choices along the way. So there's events that happen which kind of throw up something interesting into the game. And I believe there are cards here that offer you, like, do you pick option 1 or option 2? And then that leads you down a different path for your character, or certain things that happen in the game. I'm not sure about this yet. I think that for, Maggie's going to watch this and maybe talk me into it, but I'm interested to know if people who own, and clearly there are a lot of them who own Vindication and love it, like whether you're backing this expansion and whether you think it needs it. I think probably at $29 it's a bit of a no-brainer if you love the game and want to expand it. And the designer has said that, this is an expansion that they won't play it without. So that makes it sound like, oh, maybe I need to get it. But anyway, I haven't right now, but I haven't got to my problem. So my problem is that I pledged for the base game. Base game is $89. And then, which is, over $100 Australian, $130 or something Australian. And then, of course, you are then starting to compare it to the green pledge tier, which includes the works. So, and it comes with a credit for shipping, which, the Australian shipping is going to be expensive. They haven't said what it is, but that's kind of compelling. And now you're getting the base game, you're getting both the Leaders and Alliances expansion and the Chronicles. And as I'm talking through this, it just seems like more of a valid reason, because I tell you what happened. I backed the base game, and then now in Kickstarter, you would have seen that when you add something, you can now choose your add-ons instead of waiting for the pledge manager. And then I was going through all of these items and I was like, okay, well, I don't need anything that's going to go with the Leaders pack, but the Man vs. Meeple pack and the Dice Tower, I love Mandy and Suzanne, so yeah, okay, I'll put those in. And then, there's a special mini, I should probably add that in. And then so on and so forth. I should get like the card sleeves. So that was like an extra $5. And then, you just end up adding all these things. And then I think that I can't even remember what I'm up to now. It doesn't show you here. But I think I was at around almost 200 Australian dollars just with all my add-ons. And then this is kind of 300 Australian dollars, but potentially with free postage. And so I just don't know what to do. Anyway, good problem to have. This is exciting, and I am really excited to play it. And thank you everyone for, pushing me into researching it more, because, really excited to get my hands on this one. That's all for my backs this week, except the next game. I have backed this. This is Alhambra, which is an older game actually, and if you want to have a little chuckle, you should go back and watch the Tom Vassell review of this from 11 years ago. Even like YouTube has to change its format to make it like a square frame because of the video format, and he looks so much younger, but anyway, of course we were all younger back then, but it's just like that's how old this game is now. And so we have never played it. It's just one that, we started playing games probably around 2014, and so this had already been out for a few years, and I don't know, it just passed us by. And so when this came up, the thing that got me was I have backed it because there was a Christmas early bird special, and I'm a sucker for that. And as I've said in other videos, when there's an early bird, I tend to back it straight away, and then I do my research and decide whether I want to hold on to the pledge. I can imagine that's super annoying for the publisher who's putting it up to see that go up and down, but I think you've got to expect that when you offer an early bird. But this big box comes with all of the previous expansions. They've put a game tray in it. They've adding this like really cool acrylic tile dispenser, and then it's got like all of these all of the expansions, plus they've redone the artwork, so they've tried to update the game and include all of these new things and some new expansions as well. The more I hold on to this, the more I'm thinking it's not quite right for us. As much as I think that big boxes are a good value, what tends to happen is, like, we've got a few of these, just trying to think off the top of my head, like Carcassonne is one, for example, and I don't know, I find when we go back to it, we often just play the base game or the base game plus a few that we like. And so you end up like with this big box that's taking up lots of room on your shelf and you're not getting it to the table. And, you know, at $180 Australian, I'm actually wondering about taking the money out of this and putting it into the all-in pledge for Vindication, especially because it's also sitting around, the base game is about 7 on BGG, which is not super high, but you know, if you've got personal experience with this game, if you think it still stands up today, please let me know in the comments. I would love to have a chat about it. But anyway, this is the kind of Christmas bundle and everything that comes with it. Pretty cool that, you know, Stefan Feld has done one of the bonus expansions, which is really cool, and a whole heap of other designers. So like that really got me in. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you think. The next game that I haven't backed, and yet I think it's pretty cool, is called Winter Queen. Winter Queen is more of an abstract puzzly game. And the way it works is that, if I can find a good picture of the game, is that you've kind of got this queendom map board, and then you've got these enchanted crystals, and then you have spellbook tiles, and you're collecting these tiles that give you objectives to meet in terms of the pattern of or like you might need to line up crystals of different color, or you might want clusters of a certain color of crystal. But I think when I first heard that, I was like, kind of seems like a lot of games. You know, you have an objective, you achieve that objective, not that much interesting going on here. But when I actually watched a playthrough, I thought it was pretty clever. The fact that the crystals you're collecting interact with those objectives. So and also the fact that, if I can show you, why do they not have a full picture of it set up? But basically you've got, here we go, this is good. Okay, so for a 3-player game, for example, you've got a person here, a person here, and a person here, and you're taking colored crystals from either side of you. So when you take a crystal from one side of you, you're obviously denying the person next to you on your left that colored crystal. But what's interesting is that if you take the last crystal from the set, you also get a victory point or some kind of bonus. And so what that means is there's a tension between leaving just one behind, but then also if you take the last one, you get a victory point, but then of course but then it gets refreshed, and then now the person next to you has first pick of the new colors. So there's like that interesting addition to it. And then what I find really compelling is actually that when you put these colors onto the objectives, they interact with, okay, so this objective with this color on it means that you're looking for that color in that pattern. And so you kind of like, the game state is the same for everyone, but you can kind of work it to your advantage to collect points if you can see how you can puzzle it out. So I think it looks really great. I have a feeling that Maggie really wouldn't like it, which is what's holding me back. And I also think that we've got quite a few, you know, like more filler style puzzly games like this. But if it sounds like something you would enjoy, I would encourage you to check it out because it looks pretty cool. Now, as we move closer to Christmas, there's not as much going on next week, but one that is relaunching is New York Crisis. I can't really remember this launching last time, but I don't remember paying much attention to it. But I have, because there's like less on in the next couple of weeks, I've read up a bit on this, and the idea of it sounds interesting. Like you're a family in New York, but you witness a crime, and then it's a cooperative adventure where you're kind of changing the mechanics change along the way and get disrupted by as you learn more about this crime, and obviously it kind of puts you into a whole world of trouble. So that, as a premise, that sounds really cool, even though we're not really into cooperative games, so I will be checking that out next week. And the other one that will be launching next week is Awakened Realms ISS Vanguard. So this is coming to GameFound, and it was meant to launch this week. Thank you, Luke, for the heads up on that. It's launching next week. They've said, I believe the 17th of December is when it's meant to be launching. And I know a lot of people are really hotly anticipating that one. So I just wanted to provide that update. I'm pretty sure Maggie and I won't be backing it, but I will talk about it next week when it launches. So that's it for Kickstarter this week. Probably a little more spending than I was expecting at the end of the year. But again, thank you so much to everybody. Thank you for all of your support. Every time someone shares our channel, we're seeing a bump in subscribers. So welcome to everyone to our channel. We're having so much fun, and I hope everybody has a great weekend in the lead up to the festive season, and look forward to talking to you all about games soon. Bye for now.